you state your name?
Astrid Johansen.
Okay. First question. Did you kill your son?
I did everything correctly. Exactly as I was taught. Every word, every cut. But what I saw, it was something new, something we don't understand.
Even Radcliffe himself was frightened by the things he saw. But while others saw a monster, he saw salvation.
And I think it's safe to say, most in this town would celebrate one less Johansen.
You've seen them, haven't you, Rachel? Visions. Harbingers.
I didn't kill my son. You don't have that in you. But what if I do?
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension pre-show. Of course, I am Tim Geddes, and I'm joined by the master of hype, Snowbike Mike. Mike,
Tim,
how you doing?
Happy Halloween, my dude. I'm doing so well, and I'm very excited. We're here in the spare bedroom for a special premiere event, and it's just so spooky for the spooky season.
Happy Halloween to you as well. I'm really excited about this, and I hope all of you are as well. We're just about an hour away, just a little over an hour from the Silent Hill Ascension series premiere live in-app at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. What you think about that, Mike?
Best part is we're here all together. We're going to be with them the whole way leading up to the big premiere. And of course, we got exclusive interviews with the team behind Silent Hill Ascension to tell you what the heck this is all about.
Exactly. And remember, all right, this is your chance to make the canon of Silent Hill. So join now to register a free account. You can create your character and make the first crucial Silent Hill Ascension decision. You can experience it for free now on the App Store. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it on Ascension.com. I'm going to spell that out for you. It's ASCENSION.com. If you want to watch this show in another language, well, guess what? You can get our caption options on the YouTube VOD right after this live stream ends.
Make sure to jump in and sign in because I've already created my character. I'm ready for tonight, and I cannot wait to rock with all of you. But first, let's make sure to get ourselves settled in, get ready for the awesomeness. So ladies and gentlemen, let us kick it over to KindaFunny's Greg Miller, who had a chance to sit down with CEO of GenVid, Jacob Navok.
As I live and breathe, Jacob Navok. How are you, sir?
Good, very good. Excited to be here.
You should be excited. Less than an hour until it's finally out there.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween indeed, of course. I'm so happy to be here with you because I got to, of course, host the Comic-Con panel, start my journey, but you've been on this journey so much longer.
Yes.
If I ask you how long you've been working on Silent Hill Ascension, what is the answer? Where do you start?
The answer is somewhat complex because on the one hand, I could say, well, on this specific project, we started working close to 2.5, if not 3 years ago, but the reality is it's been about a 15-year journey.
Good Lord. That's all GenVid? That's the idea?
No,
where are we at?
It started when I was at Square Enix. It moved to when I ran Shinra, which was their streaming subsidiary. And that whole team, followed me to GenVid here. And so we've been together for close to a decade and a half working on these projects.
And here we are, less than an hour. Everyone go download the app, get registered, get ready. We're going out there soon. I know we have a great video about to explain everything on how this works.
Yes.
But I have also loved that since my indoctrination at Comic-Con, where you made me a believer on stage and I was talking to you about it and your passion for it, I've appreciated how the rest of the industry started waking up to it, where I see the IGN article, the GameSpot article, and they're like, not much is known. And I'm like, no, a lot's known, actually. We did a whole pan. What is the explanation when somebody's like, oh, Silent Hill Ascension, what is that?
It is an interactive series where the audience together are going to be making decisions on what happens inside of the canon of Silent Hill. Now, those are the exact words that we've been using up until now, but we keep getting it. But what does that mean?
How am I making these decisions?
How am I making these decisions? And well, the answer is you're about to find out.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to see more inside of the essentials, but the app is open, right? You're going to start to see those first choices. You're going to start to see those first puzzles. But the important thing is that it's very different from, say, a Telltale game or those Monkey Island games that I loved when I was growing up, where, you know, you could just go through, play it at your own time, play it at your own leisure, solve those puzzles, and then some of those branches were fun and some of those branches were less interesting, but everything was valid.
Yeah.
Right? Everything was okay. Here it's not. No. What the audience chooses, what they do, will actually decide the fates of these characters in canon. This is it. They have one chance to make every character survive to the end. I don't think that they'll pull it off.
You don't think the audience will come together, work this out, and make it happen?
I would be very surprised. I challenge you to try to make every character live to the end of the series. It won't happen.
A bold claim.
Yes.
But again, how does it work? I'm kidding. You brought with you the Essentials video. This is the primer for everyone who's getting ready to dive in here in less than an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look.
Silent Hill Ascension is a thrilling, new, Genvid interactive series where you, along with the rest of the community, will impact the canon of Silent Hill. It's free to experience. Install now from the App Store and Google Play for mobile devices or on a PC at Ascension.com. Silent Hill Ascension follows characters from locations around the world tormented by new and terrifying Silent Hill monsters. Lurking in the shadows, these monsters threaten to consume people and their children as they're drawn into the darkness by both recent murders and long-suppressed guilt and fears. Who lives? Who dies? You decide. The fate of these characters are in your hands, and even the creators don't know how the show will end. It's easy to begin and become a part of the Silent Hill Ascension experience. Get started by catching up on the latest episodes. The story unfolds over the course of months with a new story for you to engage in every day at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Time through a live stream. You will have the opportunity to make decisions large and small that affect the story. Each day features new decisions and no 2 days are the same. During live streams, you'll see the outcome of your decisions and be able to chat with the community. Decisions aren't voting. Rather, you'll use influence points or IP to participate. The more IP you have, the more sway you'll have for the decisions you care about. You can also rally others to your decisions. Once a decision is made, it is canon. There's no reset button. Every day has a different, difficult decision. Come back daily, make your voice heard to drive those canon decisions and earn valuable rewards. Importantly, you don't have to be there live. All decisions are available at least 24 hours in advance, and every scene is available to watch on demand after the live stream. Every live stream concludes with a sequence where you and the entire audience must help a main character endure through real danger. You won't want to miss these live moments because if a character fails enough in them, they may not survive future encounters, leading to their permanent death in the story. These endurance scenes are one of the best places to earn large amounts of influence points, but you can also solve puzzles to get IP. Each day there are new puzzles to solve, and some will unlock lore or other bonuses. Decisions, endurance scenes, and puzzles all contribute to whether characters will face redemption, suffering, or damnation in Silent Hill Ascension's finale. Additionally, characters may lose hope if they fail too many times in a shared delusion. A character's hope needs to be high enough for them to survive a crucial story moment. If the audience fails too many delusions, you can increase hope by solving certain puzzles that restore characters' mental states. You can also be part of the show. Each day, you and other audience members can enter a cameo contest to have parts in the series. Influence points are how you get into the contest. You have the ability to customize how you will appear in the show using the character creator, and you will be permanently in the story of Silent Hill Ascension seen by millions. Your character is also your representation to the rest of the community in chat and leaderboards. Each decision connects to a moment in the series. You can collect all moments in the series by participating in the decision and watching the result. And if you have the most impact on the decision, you'll collect a gold moment and be the only person in the world who has it. You can also see other parts of your collection like achievements, lore, and unlocked items through your user profile. Customize your experience with the Silent Hill Ascension Season Pass, which unlocks exclusive puzzles, character, and profile customization options. Season passes are the best way to gain IP to be part of the show, but you can access all the key features for free. Which characters survive or don't is in your hands. Face your trauma together and join millions of fans live to shape the canon of Silent Hill forever.
Pretty good video. You did a good job with that video. I think it explains it, actually.
Thank you. I think it explained it very well.
I'm sure you did. I have so many questions for it. And I think one of the things I found interesting doing the Comic-Con panel, because you called me out in front of thousands of people, was that anytime someone says, oh, blah, 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 the game, you stop them. That is a hard stop from Jacob. Why are you so hung up on not calling this a game?
What I don't want to do is give people the wrong impression of what the experience is. Because it looks like a video game, right? It's using video game level graphics. We're rendering in an Unreal Engine. It's developed by Behavior Interactive, who did Dead by Daylight. Of course. So your initial impression is, game. Looks like a game. And so, you know, I worked for Yoichi Wado as the CEO of Square Enix for a long part of his career. And he told me a number of pieces of advice, but one that I always remembered was, consumer expectations are the most expensive thing you can sell. And so setting those expectations appropriately are incredibly important, because if you think it's a game, you're going to come in with a very different set of what you believe the product to be. And what's important for me is the interactivity, the canon run is running once, but the choices that you make will live on forever. And what do I mean by this? Well, you saw our announcement with Sony Pictures Core, where episodes are going to be streaming each week to PlayStation members on Bravia TVs. We're also going to be putting streams on TikTok. You're going to be able to watch episodes on YouTube, other places, and of course inside of our app. But, you know, 20, 30 years from now, you're going to still be able to watch this as a TV show.
Sure.
But you're not going to be able to change the canon.
Yeah.
You can watch the other branches. We'll make that content eventually available.
Love that, by the way.
But every day you participate in Silent Hill Ascension, you are making history. When you make a choice for what happens to this character, when you help them survive, that's going to be what people see.
Or when you don't.
Or when you don't.
Or when they don't
Or
make
when
it.
you don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the notion that the audience is collectively deciding the canon of a television series, a scripted, big budget, because it's not a small budget, television series.
You can see it. You can see it when you watch the clips.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever been done before in history.
And so saying that, I think obviously springs forth a podcast all of its own. But what I jumped to was, when you walk in, as passionate as you are, because I love how much you're into all this, but when you walk in and explain this to Konami, why do they say, oh yeah, okay? Because again, this is like the first Silent Hill thing in like a decade, right? And you're talking about, all right, we don't know how it's going to go. We don't know we know where it could possibly go. We know all these different things, but the audience is choosing that. Like, that has to be terrifying for them, no?
I think that they were more excited by it than terrified on it. Okay. And here's the point. We all understand that the media landscape is changing. My son is 6, and when he first encountered entertainment, it was through the phone and YouTube, and he could touch it and it would scroll to the next video. And so he would go to the television when he was 2 or 3. You'll see it with your kid pretty soon. Yeah. And he would touch the TV and he was disappointed that it didn't react to him.
Okay, Jacob, I have all my TVs mounted far away from my kid's sticky fingers. Don't worry.
Mine didn't. I was in a very small apartment in Manhattan.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, boo-hoo, you're in your amazing Manhattan apartment.
No, but I didn't have all the wide space that you probably have here in California. So, You know, we have a TV right in front of him. He can walk up to it, touch it, doesn't respond, and he's, you know, he's sad, right? Like advertisements frustrated him too.
That I definitely know.
Yeah,
that I definitely know. Yeah.
Right? So you have to get YouTube Premium.
Yeah,
so
we're watching Go Buster and an ad pops up. It's a problem.
Yes, exactly. But he expected interaction. He demanded interaction, and he's only 6. Think about the kids who are growing up these days with Minecraft and Roblox and Fortnite and what the entertainment landscape looks for them. I have many friends whose children, their social circles and their social network are through these game products.
For sure.
That's where they meet. When we were kids, it was AOL Instant Messenger, IRC, right?
Yeah.
And these days, it's switched to game products. And so the future of how people socialize and meet are going to be through these kind of channels. More people watch games on Twitch these days than play many of the games that they're watching.
For sure.
This is just the way that the media landscape has evolved for people in their teens and their 20s. And I don't want to speak specifically on behalf of Konami, but what I could say excited them a lot was seeing our previous titles. We did Rival Peak, we did Pac-Man Community, we did Walking Dead. And we saw massive numbers of audiences from around the world playing on mobile phones, playing on browser, and a lot of people in that core 13 to 24 demographic that, you know, people want to target. How do you build that next generation of Silent Hill fan, right?
Especially after this much time off, and especially as
Correct.
much as Silent Hill projects are in the works right now.
There was this amazing Facebook comment that we saw when the initial transmission happened, the Silent Hill transmission happened a year ago.
Sure.
And there was somebody who wrote, you know, of the titles that I saw, Silent Hill 2 Remake and Silent Hill F excited me the most, but my son, who's 13, was the most excited by Ascension because it spoke their language. We put very intentional language signals there. It looks like Discord chat happening on side of it. We talked about Twitch and we talked about watching this content. And we've seen, even in the pre-registrations for our titles right now, massive audiences pre-installing Silent Hill Ascension, especially in Latin America, that surprised us. We got so many pre-installs in Brazil that last week I immediately ordered translation into Portuguese, which wasn't a language that we supported.
That's awesome.
And right, where are they going to be participating? On their Android phones, on their Apple iPhones? This is where these generations are playing and participating in games. And so the hope is, the goal is that they learn about this and then they become also people who purchase and become fans of the series on PlayStation 5.
Sure.
Remake F in the future. And Okamoto-san, who's the producer of the Silent Hill franchise, was with me on an IGN stream at Tokyo Game Show a couple weeks ago, and he outright said this. He said, we were so excited that we would be able to start bringing this franchise to people on Android and other devices worldwide and get them to learn about Silent Hill perhaps for the first time. And it's free to play, it's free to enter. You can just sign up right now and be able to participate without having to be really good at a video game.
Sure. You can just engage with it as a streaming series.
Correct, exactly.
For you, on the flip side, why did Silent Hill as an IP then make sense for an interactive streaming series?
And what was great about the Silent Hill franchise was that watching that on Twitch was really entertaining. Right? Watching people participate and play in that was exciting. There were movies. They had explored the world. They had explored that franchise. They had, you know, brought it beyond Silent Hill 1 and 2, and they had gone even deeper in Origins and Homecoming into the history of this. And we got excited when we thought, there is an entire lore here that you can explore. But you'll notice, right, we, in our announcements and in the trailer, we said we're setting the story to start in 2 places, in Pennsylvania and in Norway. That's not Silent Hill.
I was going to say, one of my favorite comments I think I saw yesterday in response to one of the tweets I put out was like, well, how can it be a Silent Hill game if it's not happening in Silent Hill?
Well, first off, it's not a Silent Hill game, right?
Hey, I quoted the tweet. I'm just saying what the tweet said.
Absolutely. Okay. But you saw the trailer for Silent Hill F, right?
Yeah.
Does that look like Japan, or does that look like Silent Hill? In other words, Konami themselves have already moved past that town in the franchise, and you can see that in where the future installments go. And in order for us to move away from retelling the same stories, we needed to be able to move past kind of the specific lore of the town and explore the nature of the phenomenons that you're seeing. And, you know, the other people who will be speaking today will hit this point, but I've asked them to just keep repeating these points. If you're watching from now, you're going to see this repeated several times. And you heard this at Comic-Con too, but we're at the start of things going bad in Silent Hill Ascension, right? Like you play a Silent Hill game and you walk into like that cult's room, like blood on the floor and body parts.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're picking up that note. Something bad has happened, right? It's happened by the time James gets there. It's happened by the time you're participating in those games. That's not the case here. We're at the beginning. We're at the start of everything going wrong, and how it goes wrong, what happens as it's going wrong, you decide.
One of the things I find interesting, especially for this being my introduction and my first GenVid interactive streaming experience, is the fact that this is daily, right?
Yep.
Like you get 24 hours to consume the episode, make choices, have it all play out that way before the next thing happens. How did you decide on that cadence? How long is an episode every night, day, whenever somebody's watching it, because they can watch it when they want to? Because I would think that drip feed sure is great, but then how do you maintain attention spans?
Everything is a series of balances, and we may not have this balance right yet, but we started, before I answer directly on Ascension, let's talk about kind of the lessons that we've learned so far.
Please.
When we did Rival Peak and when we did Walking Dead, everything was 24/7. The streams were up 24/7. The puzzles were available 24/7. The decisions were available 24/7. And what we found was that the puzzles and the decisions being available 24/7 was great for audiences to interact when they wanted to. But the problem with the stream being active 24/7 was that if everything is interesting content, nothing is interesting content.
Sure.
Which is to say, I'm going to use an example from one of our upcoming series rather than Ascension, so DC Heroes United. But like, if you could watch Clark Kent 24/7, and you probably would, but most people wouldn't.
Oh God, I would. I'm a freak.
Most people wouldn't. So he's spending what, 8 hours at his job banging out articles?
Yeah.
You want to watch that?
I mean, I have a
Maybe
journalist
you.
degree. Yeah, I know
But
most people wouldn't.
Most people wouldn't, right? And so like you run into this problem. And so we started when we were beginning to build Ascension with the same philosophy that we had on our previous titles of 24/7, always available streaming. And within months, we came to the conclusion you can't make horror interesting on a 24/7.
That's a great point too.
It's either just jump scares all the time, where if everything's a jump scare, nothing is scary.
Yep.
Or it's really dumb. Like we had a scene, and I tell this story and makes my devs embarrassed, but I'm going to tell it anyways. But we had the scene where we had a character sitting in a kitchen. I think it was the test version of Carl, who's the farmer in Norway.
Sure.
And he gets up and he opens up a fridge and he looks inside and he sees some meat. He closes the door. He sits down, gets up, opens the door, looks at some meat. Does this 5 times. And I remember our Cinemax director going, "It's Lynchy and horror." And I go, "No, it's really stupid and boring. It's not interesting. We can't fill 24/7 horror that way." So
Yeah.
one of the first changes we made for all of the upcoming series, whether it's Borderlands, whether it's Ascension, whether it's DC Heroes United, was that we were going to concentrate the streams on only the story that we wanted to tell.
Got it.
And once we made that decision, what we came to was we have to change the way in which we're doing storytelling. Now, many people can write stories, right? There are a lot of writers out there. There are incredible horror writers out there. Very few people in the world are skilled at narrative design, which is a very different set of skills, choice making.
Sure.
And you'll have Martin on later, right? But you're going to have Stephan, who is our chief creative officer. You're going to have Martin, who's the creative director on this project. You're going to have Sha Ling, who's our director of production. And all of them are ex-Telltale. Why? Well, it turns out that very few people in the world are good at narrative design, and you need people who understand how to make compelling choices and not just write an interesting story. And so our lead writer, Shannon, also, who isn't here today but was in our behind-the-scenes video, is also ex-Telltale. Many of the writing team come from that. And so you know, when we decided to move away from 24/7, just like constant, and we decided to move into concrete storytelling, right? Movie style storytelling, television style storytelling.
Sure.
We made a decision to bring on a narrative design team and choices that was very different than the kind of 24/7 work that we were doing before. But what we kept was, because again, we had the data here. We knew that this loop worked. We kept the puzzles and we kept the daily choices that we'd been doing in Rival Peak because we knew that people liked this. And again, why? Because if you tried to concentrate it like in a weekly cadence, right, you have the opposite problem of the 24/7, which is you lose people in making them only come on Fridays, right?
Sure.
The fact that we now have daily content allows for you to more flexibly be part of, say, 4/5 of the content that week, rather than miss all of it if the timing just didn't work out for you.
Yeah.
Now, you saw this in the Essentials video, but every day that you log in, there are different puzzles. And these puzzles are the traditional type of puzzles that you would see in a survival horror game. So there's like a horrific looking lockbox, and there's a code breaker with the foundation symbols.
You got fuses in there. Fuses are a classic.
We
one,
do
right?
have
yeah,
fuses.
Of course you do. Of course
we
you
do. We've got fuses. And they're split into two different types of puzzles. So the first set of puzzles are in what we call the Arcane Library, which is a tab you'll see in the app. And inside of the Arcane Library are just your daily kind of puzzles. And by solving the puzzles, you'll earn influence points, which is how you'll make choices. And you'll also be able to level up your personal character, where you're the idea behind the personal character is you're role playing alongside with the rest of the community. When I was working on this, I was inspired by D&D. I was inspired by, and we'll talk more about me being the evil dungeon master later.
I would definitely want to talk about that.
We were inspired by D&D, but we were also inspired by how people role play in Twitch channels, how people role play inside of Grand Theft Auto. And then finally, we were inspired a lot by just doing like, you know, those kind of Rocky Horror Picture Show events where everybody comes in costume and throws toilet paper and stuff. And we wanted to build a digital version of this. So your character is really just the way in which you role play with the community, right? It's more fun. Than
It's not like influencing.
Correct,
that
exactly.
Part of it.
But you'll also be able to level up your character through those puzzles. Those are the Arcane Library puzzles. Now, there's another set of puzzles which are called mindfulness puzzles.
Okay.
And these are different. So the theory behind the mindfulness puzzles is this. Every day, characters have an opportunity to lose hope. And Stephan will speak more about hope in a moment. But hope is the equivalent of our sanity system from the Amnesia titles. And the way in which you can increase hope is every day these characters perform little activities that regain this. Like one plays guitar, one repairs cars, one just likes playing games on their, Game and Watch type of thing. And this will increase their hope again because they're calming down after the stressful events, because we're throwing them into the other world every day.
I was going to say, yeah.
And if they fail in the other world and they get killed in an other world sequence, they're kind of killed in a dreamlike state, but their hope is reduced, right? And so we have a guitar puzzle that is inside of the mindfulness activities, and these again, it's not available every day because different characters change, but this is basically like Guitar Hero but with classic Silent Hill tunes. So Konami graciously gave us dozens of tracks from old classic Silent Hill titles. And so the days that guitar is available, like Eric or another character is strumming that guitar, you're going to be able to rock out to Promise and Laura's Theme and a lot of other amazing old school Silent Hill titles. And keep in mind, it's meant to be very casual. So
this is a get in, get out experience, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, very important. We are not trying to build skill-based gaming here. All of the puzzles are super casual on purpose, because if we built them to be skill-based, right? Like, I'm super good at this, then only the people who are the most skilled at the product would be able to
choices.
Right, and that's not fair. So it's intentionally very casual. It's intentionally easy. So like the strumming is just meant to be casual strumming, right?
Sure.
The puzzles are very typical casual puzzles. Like we've got Buried Memories, which is a kind of hidden object puzzle with where you can unlock lore and collect pages. But again, like not things that you need to be skilled at so that anybody can participate in the experience, generate the points that they need to then be able to make choices. And keep in mind, you don't have to spend these points on choices that you don't care about.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
Right. So you have these influence points, and you could just save all of them up for only the character that you care about. And every choice that's appearing every day is going to affect a character's end outcome. So we're doing something that Telltale never did. We are revealing to you the exact fate that every choice will lead to. You saw it in the trailers, right? You saw redemption, suffering, damnation. These are different paths that the character will go down. It will change their outcomes. And we're telling you, this choice will lead to this choice will lead to that, this choice will lead to that. And so you could choose to just save up all of your influence points and be able to spend them on, Carl being redeemed.
Right. You find your favorite character and I want to save this character.
Precisely.
Or you find somebody you really hate and you're like, I'm going to send you suffering.
Exactly. And both are valid, right? There is no invalid choice. People misunderstand this. They think, I'm just going to be able to kill every character on day one. No, that's not how it works. You could prevent them from gaining hope by failing them, but we have created very specific off-ramp moments. And those off-ramp moments are when you're going to be measured against the hope. You can't just do it every single day, but we're also not telling you when those off-ramp moments are. And so we're creating this very natural tension between audience members who want to see hope high, audience members who want to see hope low for specific characters, and we're interested and entertained by when that's going to happen. But we've crafted the story so that it will get to the end, right? We're controlling when the off-ramp moments happen, but the audience is controlling whether a character will die in them or not. Now, one other thing that's super important to say here about how we're handling the story, we are able to change the tuning values of these things, and we're tuning them at the start to be fair.
At the start.
The start to be fair.
This is where Evil Dungeon Master comes in.
Correct. So I've said this multiple times, and I said this at Comic-Con in front of you, but people greatly misunderstand the nature of audiences. They think that everybody's going to come in and troll. Everybody's just going to push everything down. That is not how it works. That may be how it works on Reddit, but
accurate.
The Reddit community is tens of thousands. The people who will be participating in this are millions. You're going to be drowned out very, very quickly. And what we've seen in Walking Dead, where we had life and death choices all the time, was that audiences almost always tried to have characters live. And if you think about this, it's natural. So you play a Silent Hill game and James gets killed by Pyramid Head about 1/3 into it. What do?
Keep going, restart.
You hit the continue button, right? Okay, cool. So what does it mean to get to the end of Silent Hill 2? Does it mean that you've survived until the end? It means that you're not dead until the end?
Yeah.
In other words, death is a losing state, and staying alive to the end is the winning state. And so we are naturally inclined as audience members to try to get to the winning state, and that winning state is survival, right? If a character dies in a movie, the movie is over. We need to see them live to the end of the story. Audiences work this way. We know it. We have every piece of data. We have an investor in the company named Cindy Holland. She was, for 18 years, the VP of content at Netflix. She built Stranger Things. She built House of Cards, Bandersnatch. And she said to me, we had the early audience data, Jacob, and a lot of people just tried to see the best ending first. And then they would go to the worst ending, right? They were interested, but the best ending was what they tried to get to. We know that the audience is going to try to, that you guys are going to try to.
You're going to make it as hard as possible.
Yeah. The audience wants every character to survive. The ability for the trolls to influence at scale is going to be very, very, small. You'll be drowned out by, and this is how Twitch defeated Pokemon within days.
Sure.
Right? Trolls came in there. People created bot attacks. The audience overran it and tried to get to the end. every single Pokemon game that they put on there, because they did multiple after Twitch Plays, got to the end despite everything. And so I'm very convinced that audiences will try to get to the good ending, and that my job, this is where Evil Dungeon Master comes in, is to make sure that that's actually pretty difficult, because everybody living is boring. Now,
you're a real bastard.
Look, if that's what the audience wants, fine, I'm not going to interfere with that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make it harder for people to get to the absolute best ending. I'm going to make it a challenge. Right?
Fair enough.
And I can't adjust that challenge through skill, right? So it really just has to be about how hard is it for you to be able to rally others. And so inside of the decision system, and this is also very different from how Telltale games worked, you go through and you make choices, and then you kind of see how others chose in Telltale. We're going to let you rally other people to the cause that you care about. And if your choice is behind, that rally will actually massively increase the points. Okay. And this was spurred by kind of Twitch hype trains and donation trains and everything else. It was like, if we could get a hype train going on a choice that's behind, it's going to be more interesting for the audience, and it's going to help people not feel defeated.
Yeah.
And so
you're never out of the game.
You're never out of the game.
It's not a game, but you know what I mean, the game of making your decision.
Precisely. So if you rally people and people contribute when the rally is active, you're going to be able to make choices that were behind come back. And the goal is to start to make those things neck and neck. So again, it's not about like, I'm just going to try to, kill every character all the time. It's how do I create systems and change tuning values so that the campaign is interesting.
Sure.
And the heroes don't just constantly win.
Jacob, you mentioned there's a lot of other people we're talking to.
Yep.
We have less than an hour until this thing is actually out there and people can do it. But before I let you go, you have to play a little game with me I call the Silent Hill Ascension Speed Round. I have 4 questions for you.
Sure.
Clear your mind. Don't think too hard. Ready? Favorite Silent Hill moment of all time. And this is the franchise, not just yours.
Oh, James looking in the mirror.
What is your favorite Silent Hill Ascension monster?
The Collector.
Can't wait to find out about this Collector. And then your favorite character in Silent Hill Ascension?
Carl, because he reminds me of my father.
Is that on purpose? Did you go through and
No, I have zero influence on characters and story. So when it comes to producing the products, characters and stories are Stephan's domain. I don't touch them.
Okay.
I'm only involved in like overall design of the interactive experience. I come in like the audience. I watch these episodes for the first time and I discover these characters. So I've only really seen up to the first few weeks of Carl's story.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Jacob, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, you got very little time until this is actually a part of it. So, of course, get out there, download the app, get registered, get set, and get out there.
Please.
Right. For now, let's throw it back to Mike and Tim, who are...
Tim, I could talk and listen to Jacob all day. The fun stuff that's going on here gets me really excited for what we're about to see later tonight.
I feel you, man. Me too. I get that. But here's the thing. We don't have time to waste, and neither do you, dear viewer. Of course, we're just about 50 minutes away from the series premiere of Silent Hill Ascension. You're going to want to get ready for all of that. We've been saying all the different ways you can do it. But, Mike, you want to remind them?
Of course I do, because now is the time to register for a free account, create your character, and make the first crucial decision in Silent Hill Ascension. Right now, for free, you can go join on the App Store, Google Play, and of course, over at the web at Ascension.com.
And while you're doing all of that, let's join Greg back at this desk with GenVid CCO, Stephan Bugaj.
As I live and breathe, Stephan Bugaj. Hello.
Hello. How you doing, Greg?
I'm fine, but this isn't about me. This is your moment, all right? Let me check here. Chief Creative Officer. Less than 1 hour until Silent Hill Ascension is out there and people are actually participating. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited. I'm excited for people to get in there.
Yeah. I'm excited for people to experience it because, again, I think you really have to experience it to understand it. But my question for you, Chief Creative Officer, how do you tackle something like this creatively? Because I feel like you're having this team go out and make all these different scenes, choices, things like that, never knowing what will actually happen. Is that exhilarating, or is it beating people down? And like for you, you're not even technically fully in control of where the story's going.
I think it's exhilarating. I think it's a lot of fun to tackle the challenges of branching narrative and how we come together as a team to create a really cool story that we don't know ultimately how it's going to end, but we give the audience options to follow along and to make decisions so that they're driving the ultimate ending, but we've crafted a bunch of paths for them to go down, all of which are, we hope, equally exciting.
Talk to me about the community coming together. Because that is this thing we're all going to have to do. There will be, I assume, encampments of all of us out there saying, I pick this player, I hate that player. And it's like watching a reality show and deciding who you don't like or do love, but then actually being able to influence what happens to them.
I mean, the community is super important because that's really who this is for. Yeah. Like the GenVid interactive streaming series, the whole idea behind it to be a socially interactive series is to take the kinds of ideas that we were working with at, say, Telltale, where I worked at, Martin, our creative director, Shannon, our lead writer, Sha Ling, our producer, all ex-Telltale people.
Love it.
We used to create these narratives that were these single user experiences where you would make an individual decision, I would make an individual decision, and they're all equally valid. And there's a bunch of different
equally
stories.
Valid, all right, Team Kenny. We all know it was Team Kenny, all right?
And so the idea here is to take that energy of making those decisions and bring it to a community experience where everyone is collaborating with the people that agree with them and competing with the people that disagree with them.
Sure.
To rally those who believe the same things they do, to see the decision, to see the choice made that they would like to see. And that's a really great community energy because it builds on not just things like Twitch plays Pokemon, that kind of idea, but the stuff that we saw when people would talk about at the end of a Telltale episode, the percentage rankings of choices.
Wait,
and
you
how
did
they,
what?
How,
no, I did this.
Exactly. You did this, I did. But you idiot, how could you do choice B? Why would you do that? But now you can yell at each other, you should do choice A, you should do choice B, while that decision is still being made. And when it closes, that's the canon that everyone sees. So you are debating and then participating in the choices that create the final outcome of the story. Every day, new changes that then are cut together into a TV episode that will be shown, in the case of Silent Hill Ascension, on Sony Pictures Core at the end of the week, that you as an audience helped create because you made the decisions that caused the story to go in one direction or another. So it's not just that solo play Telltale experience where you then argue about it after. You argue about it while it still matters, and our system is designed to listen to all of you. And then that decision becomes canon. You've changed the world of Silent Hill forever because you've made those decisions.
And I love that too. One thing I don't think we've really talked a lot about so far on this stream, right, is the fact that if you really wanted to, you don't have to participate, period. You could just watch, right, at the end of every week and see what that week it transpired into.
You certainly could, and that is an experience that perhaps some people want to have, but it's not a difficult experience to participate in.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, anyone can just go in to the app and decide which of the choices they'd like to see made for that decision and participate in that. It's easy to do, and then you have been involved directly in shaping the story for this season. So of course you can just lean back and watch, but it's not a big lift to go and participate if that's your jam. And I think a lot more people will get into that than maybe thought they would coming into it because it's fun. It is the opportunity to have those sort of water cooler arguments while it still matters and then be able to go and influence those outcomes as they're happening as opposed to just waiting to the end and then talking about it in the past.
It's what I love about watching a horror movie, period. Is that it's, oh, why are you running upstairs? Oh, I want to do that. I would go outside. Now you have a chance to test all of that, right? You have a chance to get in there and try to make your, why would you go upstairs? No, do X, Y, and Z.
Exactly. It is like yelling at the screen in a horror movie, but the screen's listening.
That's creepy. We keep talking about the audience, and we've talked about the choices, and we've talked about the mechanics, and we've talked about all this stuff. We haven't actually talked about what is the story of Silent Hill Ascension. What are the themes? Who are the characters? Like what? And I know we're about to play it very soon, or be a part of it. Jacob, don't come in here. Be a part of it. Not play it. Experience the interactive series. whatever you're willing to tell me about where we are narratively.
For sure. So Silent Hill Ascension follows two families. And these two families are kind of led by these two strong female characters, Astrid and Rachel. And each family has a dark history. They have a death in the family right at the outset. You're going to see that as soon as we go into the story in an hour or so. And that draws them together into the horrors of Silent Hill. So we have multiple protagonists, multiple locations, connected to each other in these mysterious ways. And we're going to follow those two families through their individual trials and tribulations, facing the horrors that they face, digging into the dark pasts that they all share. But we're also going to see how the two separate families are, over time, connected to each other. And it's a really, really interesting opportunity to expand the Silent Hill franchise into multiple locations outside of the traditional town of Silent Hill.
Sure.
Multiple simultaneous protagonists in the same story that you, the audience, get to make choices for. So it's not like there's just multiple strong characters, but you're going to make choices for more than one of these characters throughout the season. And those choices are going to be impactful in deciding which of these characters live or die, how they come out the other end of this story.
You keep talking about choices because that's the entire point of an interactive streaming series. What is the first choice? Or what, I mean, like, what are you presenting us with? Maybe if it's just themes, because again, I don't need to spoil it, but I do want to know like what we're about to get into.
Absolutely. So the very first choice that you're going to be presented with involves the character Rachel, who, in addition to being a mother, which is going to be important to the story, and a businesswoman and a wife, all of which are going to be important to the story. She's also
take notes, everybody. If you're not taking notes right now, take notes.
She's also involved with an organization called the Foundation.
Okay. Which will be important to the story.
Which will be important to the story. And perhaps has some similar characteristics to the Order, although it is not the Order by a different name.
Okay.
And she is performing a ritual on a character named Joy that goes horribly wrong. And the very first decision that you're going to have to make is whether Rachel tells Joy to continue with the ritual, to flee, or to beg for mercy from the thing that has gone horribly wrong with this ritual.
I'm getting ahead of it and saying, let's beg for mercy, everybody. All right? Can we all get behind beg for mercy? I don't like the other two.
And it's a great first choice. It's a great opening because it does a couple of things. One is it gets the audience directly into this character's life in the moment, like as it's happening. And that's one of the great things about what we're doing with Silent Hill Ascension. In the games, as Jacob loves to say, you walk into a room and the cult has already been there. There's already blood on the walls, body parts
Corpses,
in the corner.
Yeah. Here,
and it's starting with our opening, you, the audience, are helping put the blood on the floors.
I like how you put it that way. Yeah.
This organization, the Foundation, is active. Rachel is a member. Her husband is an aspirant, and other people in the town are members. And so part of the story that you're interacting with is the story of this organization and how they deal with the seeming reality of their beliefs suddenly coming crashing down upon them.
We've talked a lot about the choices and what's happening here and vague stuff, because of course we don't want to do it, but everybody beg for mercy. Throughout this entire season, what are the mechanics we're doing? There's an overarching thing, right, that's actually guiding fates, correct?
That's right. So there's two core mechanics that are going to help determine whether or not these characters survive and how. So throughout the season, there are checkpoints that we've created that for certain characters are going to look at these scores, so to speak, and decide whether or not those characters have one outcome or another or another or another. And the systems that play into these, one is fate. Now, fate is based on these choices that we're talking about, where you're making these branching narrative decisions. And fate decisions are going to be of the type where one choice is a choice that adds more points to the redemption path. One adds more points to the suffering path. One adds more points to the damnation path.
Okay.
Now, what does that mean? Redemption means that in the end, this character, as much as the Silent Hill world allows,
which isn't much, but okay,
is going to be maybe okay.
Sure, yeah. Emotionally broken, never able to live a normal day in their life the rest of the way, but they're okay.
But as Silent Hill character goes, maybe okay.
Okay.
Now, the suffering path means that that character may not endure the worst possible outcome that they could, but they're not okay. And there's things that are still unresolved, looming over them. They have not fully escaped the horror. And then the damnation path is, that's it.
That's it. That's
the end. And the other mechanic that plays into this is hope. And hope is kind of like a sanity system, but it's a hope system. It's how much does this character believe that there is a reason to keep moving forward. So you could have someone who's redeemed in the fate system, but has low hope, and they're going to have a different outcome than if that character was redeemed in the fate system and had high hope. So the audience is responsible for both of these systems. So the more they participate, the more influence they have over fate and over hope, and where each of these characters are going in terms of their final outcomes.
I mean, yeah, that makes so much sense in terms of what people are looking for from these experiences. It's like, Jacob was talking about with his son walking over and wanting to touch the TV.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the future of entertainment is audiences shaping content. And what we're doing is one really unique and compelling way to allow audiences to shape content, because unlike, say, open sandbox kind of things, the branching narrative experience creates enough of a shared context that everyone in the audience has something that they can talk about, that they can argue about, that they can make decisions about, and they all share that stakes and they all see the same outcome. And so it brings people together in a really interesting way where they are shaping the content, but they're shaping the content together. And that really amplifies that kind of, game day arguing
for sure.
about whether or not we should have done A, B, or C. Where do we think this is going? How can we get ahead of it? I don't like you people who like this character. I'm going to try and make sure that this character gets hosed. Well, I want to support this character. And by creating those rails that we create with the narrative design, we allow the audience to shape the content, but in a way where it's not so freeform that people kind of don't have something to talk about. They don't have a shared context. It creates that shared context where they are making decisions that everyone can understand and debate and rally around and argue over and, decide what they really want and go for that.
Yeah, I think you're bringing people together to tear each other apart.
Bringing them together to tear each other apart, not in the same way that we do in the story.
Yeah, the blood and gore. Not that way at all. Of course, Silent Hill Ascension is less than 1 hour away, but you're going to hear all of this from Mike and Tim. So let's go back to the live stream, boys.
So this interactive series, Mike.
Yep.
It seems new. It seems fresh, like nothing we've ever seen before.
It's exciting.
Definitely is.
But only if you, I, and everyone watching right now come along for the ride. And I'm talking everyone, Tim.
Yes.
You got to get involved. You got to come in, because guess what? You can register for free right now, create your account, then go off and create your character, which I've already done. Just unlocked a new little prize, a sweet red beard for my red beard, which I'm very excited about. And of course, you can get ready with that account to make the first crucial Silent Hill Ascension decision right now. I see a ton of you voting, choosing what we're going to pick, where we're going to go, putting out the rally cry. So make sure to go do that. Of course, you can get it over on the App Store, Google Play, and of course at Ascension.com.
That is exactly right, Mike. Make sure you go do all of that stuff while you're getting that all ready. Y'all, We are just over 30 minutes away from the premiere of this whole thing, but let's keep it rolling. Greg's at the desk with Silent Hill Ascension Director of Production, Sha Ling.
Sha Ling, welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you.
Thank you for coming. I'm checking my notes. Director of Production on Silent Hill Ascension.
It means cat wrangler.
I was going to say, what does that mean?
It means cat wrangler.
So that means you have to track down all the different people who are doing everything and make sure the project's on time and it's going the
yeah, just whatever it takes to get it shipped out the door.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of pressure.
Sometimes it's reading bedtime stories to your lead writer so that her dreams are filled with nightmares.
Wow. Oh, no.
You know, appropriate. And other times it's, like putting makeup on your sea levels to make sure they look good. They look good on screen. It's important.
So I feel like on any game, director of production would be a lot. I feel like on an interactive streaming series where there are a gajillion choices that branch and do these different things and people are dying or living or suffering or whatever, that's got to be an even crazier task. So what excited you about this project? Why take on this massive of a thing?
So we do joke on the production team that we decided to do development on insanity mode because, we are building a lot of content for people. For all the choices that you're not going to see on our playthrough that's coming up, we had to build every single other one, all the ones you don't see too, because it needs to be an authentic choice for the audience in terms of if it mattered, then it was different. And so we got to make it meaningfully different. So we built all of it.
And again, I talked about this already in the stream, but I feel like that must be maddening for the people building all this. And I know there's plans that after we have our canon run, they we'll show other stuff. And
we do want to show it to people so they can kind of see the differences.
Yeah.
But I come from Telltale. I come from Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, you do.
Both are kind of known for narrative and interactive.
Yeah.
So I've been working on it for a while. A big part for me is the community.
Yeah.
Like interactive fundamentally requires other people when you do it in the setting that we're doing it in. And so being able to connect with people, being able to tell a shared story with other people, there are limits in terms of how we can do it for a big, wide audience. That's different than your tabletop, but that sense of community, that sense of your gaming family is still there.
Oh, for sure.
For me, I game with people everywhere, anywhere from China to the UK. And some of those folks are people I've met in person. Some of them are friends that I found online. I'm excited personally because I don't have a place where I can do a thing with them all together at the same time.
Yeah.
And this is actually that opportunity. This is an interactive experience that I because we're going to run decisions and stories. It's going to run 24/7 if you want to just watch this content. And then for the decisions, we can debate it with each other. We can talk about what's right or what's wrong.
Well, let alone the platforms, right, too. The fact that you're talking about, okay, it's going to be on mobile. Okay, it's going to be able to be seen through the Bravia. Okay,
yeah.
It's literally everywhere, like you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's not just our audience that's going to be all over the world. Our dev team also comes from all over the world. So we're representing ourselves, and we're trying to get that experience out for everybody. So it's a global audience and a global dev team, and we're trying to bring it so that everybody can participate in the same story. And that story that we make together, that's going to go out into the world as this is now the canon story.
Sure.
Right? The choices that, when you're playing a single player experience or a Telltale game, every choice is valid because as a player, I could have gone through every download and whatever my canon was, that is my canon.
That's your playthrough. Yeah.
That's my playthrough. It's my canon. And everyone can matter, but this is the one where that one is final, but you get a voice on it. Everybody else gets to join in and try to fight you on it or help you on it, and that's going to go into the world as that is the canon we all made together.
You talk about the dev team being worldwide and being so large in this. How are you tackling Silent Hill Ascension expanding the Silent Hill universe, right? Because it's a similar thing where, again, this isn't just Silent Hill, right? The town, this is global.
We are going into global locations. It's not the Silent Hill that people are used to. And we're excited about what that might mean. The original Silent Hill came out in 1999. That was a while ago.
A long time ago. And
that was a while ago.
How old I was.
And so we're going to tell stories from people you would expect watching the show now, and from the people that we know are are part of our gaming communities now. So
You're going to diversify.
we have like a huge number of horror fans in Latin America.
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited to welcome them because they didn't get a chance to participate in the original Silent Hill back when it came out because it was on console. It was only on console. So not that many people got to experience it. We're going out on iOS, we're going out on Android, we're going out on PC. Anybody anywhere in the world can access it. So for me,
For
like,
free, period.
for free, yes. For me, that inclusivity is awesome because like we are opening up the world, the universe of Silent Hill to everybody else who didn't get a chance. And we're kind of setting the ground for them to come and participate in this fandom, to like be a part of it. To be welcomed in on something that like is easy access for them that they can get to on a mobile phone. They can just download it. You can drop in every day or you can drop in once a week and catch up. And you have a say in what happens.
Is it because of the dev team, the story, etc., that diversity is important to Silent Hill Ascension? Because again, like you're saying, you're doing things in this with characters you haven't done before, or the series hasn't done before.
I mean, I think horror in a lot of ways explores, groups and people that maybe are not always at the forefront of storytelling, but they, when you explore what horror is and what is horrifying in the world, oftentimes you are looking at it from a lens of like somebody who doesn't often have power. And
great point.
Silent Hill actually is a very interesting take on it. So, Silent Hill is very much about how is my internal horror, how it becomes manifest in the world, and kind of can hurt people. And we're really excited about the opportunity we have to tell that from many different characters' points of view. So everybody, one of the core tenets of Silent Hill horror is that like the monsters that you see are manifestations of an individual person's trauma. So like, we don't have James in our story, and so Pyramid Head's not going to appear, but we have a lot of interesting characters who come from very different backgrounds, and their horrors are most certainly going to appear. And like, I am actually kind of excited. One of the conversations we did have internally was like, we need to have diversity in our monsters. They need to be like, not only our cast needs to represent, our monsters need to represent.
Is that at the top of the list then? I think, we were talking with Jacob, and like, obviously it's been so long since the Silent Hill project. We're going to see so many new horror fans here. Like, is that at the top of the list, you think, of why they should be excited? Is new monsters, or is there something else that speaks to it?
I mean, if you're not excited about new monsters in Silent Hill, like
Ascension isn't for you?
I mean, monsters are very important
in
Silent Hill, and a lot of that has to do with why Silent Hill, right? And it's because of the psychology of, what the monsters mean and what happens when they appear. What does it mean that they appear at all? So for the new fans, I'm actually excited for them to uncover that. And I think for the people who are already familiar with it, I hope that they enjoy kind of the exploration of different types of these psyches and these monsters and figuring out what they do represent and who they represent as well. We're excited to welcome a new generation. We're excited to welcome people who haven't seen anything because there hasn't been anything in the last 10 years. And we want to make Silent Hill a horrible, sad place, but very welcoming to audiences who want to join it.
You want as many people to come in and be miserable as possible.
Yes, but like also I want the TikToks and the nurse dancing videos and maybe like the bruiser dancing videos. We've talked about this internally. I need a bruiser dancing to music video.
Again, I think you have the stuff to have that happen organically, right? Because again, this is such an interesting, cool idea. And I think it is the perfect IP to mash up with it. And I think obviously launching tonight on Halloween, pretty great idea.
And like, we have bite-sized content pieces so people can digest it daily, or they can come in for their 45-minute, weekly episode fix. I feel like we've really adapted to whatever kind of like crazy busy lifestyle people have now. And it's, genuinely made for all of those audiences to consume. We're not discriminating. We're welcoming everybody.
Come in. Be horrified.
Be horrified. Experience the trauma together.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
There you go.
Back to the weirdos running the live stream.
Let's keep the experience going with you and I, Tim. I am super hyped at the amount of former Telltale team members that are on this project. It's getting me real excited.
Oh, yeah. So many great reasons to be hyped, Mike. You got that right. Now, here's the biggest thing. We don't need to wait much longer because the series premiere of Silent Hill Ascension kicks off in just 24 minutes.
4 minutes. And you know what you need to do, Tim? Because if you haven't done it already, everyone watching and listening out there, you need to get over to the App Store, Google Play, and Ascension.com to get registered for free and get ready to shape the canon of Silent Hill. How many times do you think you're going to have this opportunity to shape the canon of something so near and dear to fans' hearts?
On Halloween to kick it all off. It just feels so right, Mike. Let's send it back to Greg with creative director Martin Montgomery.
Martin Montgomery, creative director.
Well,
I'm able to say I knew you way back when.
That's
you believe
right.
that?
It's been like 10 years.
You were, what, doing IGN Indie Incubator?
Way back in the day.
Making games, and here you are now on the KindaFunny set in your face, IGN. Creative director on Silent Hill Ascension. Yeah. What the hell does that mean?
I've been asking myself that for a while now. No, so basically, I'm working on the day-to-day on the creative. So I work with the writing team, I work with the cinematics team, and I'm kind of overseeing that vision that was really set by Stephan initially, and then I'm coming in to kind of help execute on the day-to-day stuff.
So talk to me about who we're going to be seeing, interacting with in this series. Like, we've heard about the families, we've heard about 2 female protagonists. What's the story?
So really, we're looking at a story about intergenerational trauma, and we're following 2 families that are a world apart. But as the series keeps going, you're going to kind of see the things that really connect those 2 families. You know, one thing to keep in mind is that this is not going to be like a game where we ramp up into the narrative. I mean, it's a series, right? So we're going to be really kind of doing a little bit more of a slow burn, where we are establishing who these characters are, what the conflicts are between them, and those play into the decisions that you're going to be making.
So talk to me about that. Is that a terrifying choice? Because again, this is not a game, Jacob, we understand, but so many people coming in thinking it's a game, right? Are you worried? I mean, again, mere minutes from this thing launching, that people are going to get into this first episode and it's, oh, this is a slow burn. This isn't what I was expecting. And like, they fall off, they stay in. Are we about to get into... Is it not a slow burn first blush here? What are we getting into?
No, I mean, we get right into the action, but what I mean is that, it takes time to establish, we have an ensemble cast. And so we want to get to meet each of those people, understand what they're about, what they're here for. And, Jacob talked about this earlier, but one of the things that's different about our series compared to maybe some of the Silent Hill games is that you were there at the beginning of where everything happens, right?
Yeah.
Typically, you come in and you walk into a room, there's blood everywhere, and the note on the ground, and you're reading about what happened in that room. But in our series, you're there from the beginning, and you're actually you're able to influence that through the decisions that you have that you have a chance to make, right? So, no, we do throw you into the action, but we also spend time to establish who these characters are and really get to know them.
You talk about the 2 characters, protagonists. What about the 2 locations?
Sure.
Again, we aren't in Silent Hill.
We are not.
Our new locations. What are they all about? Are they characters unto themselves?
Sure. Yeah. So we made a deliberate choice to not set our series in the town of Silent Hill. We did that for a few reasons. One, because we wanted to, we didn't want to retread those stories that are being told there. But that also allows us to expand in lots of different areas that we normally wouldn't be able to. But we are still, we're playing in a lot of the same spaces and things that you would be familiar with from Silent Hill, right? So I won't say too much about where we're going to get into, but it's going to be a fun ride. And the audience is going to be a big part of how things play out in both of these towns.
They're the part of it, right? This can't happen without us.
That's right.
It can't happen without us. We're making the show. We're making the choices. The cult keeps getting mentioned.
Yeah.
Earlier, it kind of got mentioned and entwined with the families. Like, what is the story of the cult that we can know right now without ruining anything?
Yeah, so we follow an organization called the Foundation, and it's part and parcel with, I think, things that are synonymous with Silent Hill. There's really crazy things that are happening, and there are people and organizations that are trying to make sense of what's happening and also to try to have some kind of agency over that. And so we start with Rachel, who's a member of this organization, and her husband is an initiate in this. And in Hope's Junction, in PA, where they're located, you're going to really start to learn more about what this organization is. And one thing that's interesting about our series is that traditionally, you've really experienced this from the outside of that organization. In this series, we are putting you inside of it. You are a member of this group, and you are role
a cult member. Great. That's fantastic. That's what I want to be.
Exactly. So this is a different kind of take and way for the audience to experience the story in Ascension.
You know, I joked around at the start, obviously, like, I've known you so long. Do you have those moments still of like I'm working on Silent Hill?
I can tell you this was not on my bingo card.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it is an incredibly privileged place to be able to play in this space and work on something that is so loved by so many people and means a lot to them, right? And
sure.
I talked about this previously in our behind the scenes video, but we're really trying to be good stewards of the series while also delivering something that feels familiar, but fresh, right? Because we didn't want to just retread in the same thing. So you're not going to see a lot of these mentions of, and throwbacks to the previous things. We are telling a new story in this universe, and we hope that the audience is excited about that, because we really are.
Yeah, I mean, that's all well and good. But no one's talking about Norway. What is happening in Norway?
It's a real shame. We haven't talked about Norway yet. Yeah, so in Norway, we're following the Johansen family. And this is a family that is ruled sort of and held together by this matriarch, Ingrid, which is the mother of the family. And one of the mysteries that we're going to kind of be uncovering while we're there is the town hates the Johansens. They are the punching bag for everything that goes wrong. And throughout the series, we're going to understand why. And learn how Ingrid has sort of affected her children, her husband, and things like that. So, yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride over in Norway.
It better be.
It's gonna be.
It better be. Martin, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's head back to the live stream team.
Tim, I'm ready to go to Hope Junction, Pennsylvania.
I'm sure you are, Mike. As am I, and I'm sure so many people out there are as well. And we're going to do that together in just about 15 minutes.
Right around the corner, Tim. It's about time.
It is.
I hope you're ready.
We're getting the premiere of all this. Silent Hill Ascension. Remember, it's premiering right now on the App Store, Google Play, and Ascension.com. That is ASCENSION.com. In just 16 minutes exactly, this thing is going to go live.
Sign up, make your character, get ready, because we're right around the corner. But Tim, now for something really special.
This one is real special. All right, everybody, please welcome the Silent Hill lead producer, Motoi Okamoto.
サイレントヒルファンの皆さん、こんにちは。コナミデジタルエンターテインメントサイレントヒルシリーズプロデューサーの岡本元井です。サイレントヒルファンの方もシリーズが初めての方も、今日は皆さんにとって非常にエキサイティングなものになるでしょう。今日はこの後すぐにサイレントヒルアセンションが世界で初めて放送される特別な日です。本作はサイレントヒルシリーズ復活の先陣を切るプロジェクトであり、10年ぶりの新しいコンテンツとなります。インタラクティブストリーミングという形式により、数ヶ月にわたって充実したコンテンツをお届けします。サイレントヒルシリーズプロデューサーとして、私はこのプロジェクトを大変誇りに思っています。この心を揺さぶる物語は、ヨハンセン一家とヘルナンデス一家の複雑な生活を追っていきます。この後すぐのライブ配信初回から皆さんは他の観客と一緒にこの家族の運命を決め、そして彼らが贖罪、苦悩、あるいは破滅のどれに向かうのかを導いていくことになります。彼らの運命はあなたの手に委ねられているのです。それではこの後サイレントヒルアセンションの初回プレミアに備えましょう。どうぞお楽しみください。
Amazing, Tim.
That's the thing, man. Thank you so much, Okamoto-san, for your time.
Tim, we are so close. We are now less than 15 minutes away from the Silent Hill Ascension premiere. And if you want to watch, you got to get ready right now. And of course, we have a multitude of languages that you can check out right now. If you're watching over on YouTube, click on that caption option and check out all the different languages, because we're coming at you worldwide.
Yeah,
with
that's
Silent Hill.
When this all ends, when the VOD is up, you'll be able to switch to all the different languages that you want on our YouTube VOD. But for one last time, let's head back to Greg Miller, the desk, and a very special message from Jacob Navok.
Nice try, Jacob. You're not getting out of here without having one more second with me because we are mere seconds away from Silent Hill Ascension being out. This is it. Final seconds before people can get in this. Like, what do you want to say to the Silent Hill fans?
Well, first off, sign up on mobile and web and jump in now. But yeah, I mean, these opening moments of the story are important, but it's really what happens over the next 6 months that makes the big difference.
Sure.
So
sure.
Everybody needs to strap in for the long haul.
I can't wait. Congratulations. It's you and the entire team, of course. I'm so excited to see what this is all about.
Thanks.
No problem. Thank you. For now, though, let's go back one last time to Mike and Tim.
So here we are, 13 minutes away from the premiere of Silent Hill Ascension. We've been hanging out. We've been having an absolutely amazing time here in the spare bedroom. Thank you for watching live over on YouTube, over on Twitch. Remember, if you want to watch the VOD later on YouTube, you could do that with captioning for whatever language it is that you're looking for. In these next 13 minutes, y'all, it's time. You got to go right now to the App Store, to Google Play, to Ascension.com. Get registered, get ready so we can all do this together. Mike, you got registered. What was the process like?
Tim, the process was really easy for me. I've registered, I've created my character, and I think that's the fun one is I put on a nice blue flannel. Somehow they got me in the game. They got a bomber jacket in there for you as well to create your character, because don't forget, that character could come in to the story one day. So that's pretty special. And it's been fun because I'm watching the live feed right now. I can see us live. I can see our best friends. Shout out to the people out in Brazil watching right now, having some fun worldwide right over here on the live stream. And of course, the vote is up, Tim.
Yeah.
It's time to make your choice. What will Rachel tell Joy to do? And of course, I'm trying to rally everyone. Okay, I'm a damnation boy.
Damnation.
Let's talk about the options. Of course, there's redemption. You can finish the oath. That's currently leading at 50% of the vote right now. There's 35% though for suffering, which is just run, Tim. And I would tell you in any horror movie, just run. You know,
it's good advice.
Run.
You
Run
know,
as
probably,
fast as you can.
Probably a good place to start, you know, when there's something scary. And obviously, Silent Hill, many scary things after you. We know that.
Do you want to run into the fog? You know what I mean? It's a tough one, Tim. It's a tough one.
That is the problem. Do you run into the fog? Do you run away from the scary thing?
Yes.
Sometimes you just got to make a call in the last moment. What I think is really special here, Mike, is we just had the Silent Hill lead producer. All right.
Yes.
Talking about this new kind of the welcome back to the Silent Hill franchise. This is kind of kicking it all off. Silent Hill Ascension, a new experience for people out there. That's exciting, right?
A really cool experience, a daily experience as well, Tim. Of course, we had Jacob talk about like what the vision is from this team and how everyone around the globe can get involved. And of course, if you miss any of it, you can always come back. You can check in. You can see what has happened. You can cast your vote for the next one. I think it's really exciting for Silent Hill fans to be able to now have an impact, a fingerprint on the canon itself. That's wild.
I mean, here's the thing, Mike. You said run. Your gut instinct says, I'm going to run. The chat seems a little bit against you here, all right?
Yes.
We have Italani saying finish it. Finish the ritual joy. Then we have Smoothhead Game saying, I don't think running is a good idea. That's why I said finish it. I love the challenge at the top of this of I don't think that we're going to be able to make everyone survive, right?
Yes, you think that we would all come together as a collective and be able to vote on this. But I don't know if we got it in us because I am part of just the 16% of the vote right now, Tim.
Yeah.
Voting for damnation, plead for mercy.
Well, that's the thing. Erdy Cooper's with you. Plead for mercy.
Yes.
All right. Like they're there. They want to make this happen. They want to see what's going on here. We got Brian Sabre saying, I'm not even a Silent Hill fan, but this concept seems really interesting. I feel like that's what's I think extra exciting about this is Silent Hill is at the precipice of being just back, right? It's like in the gaming conscious of everybody. And I feel like this experience might be the type of thing to maybe like catch people up on what they might have been missing out on for the last couple decades, honestly.
Of course, if you're new or if you're old, you're coming back, you're getting reacquainted to the world. And like we talked about before, having that opportunity to leave an imprint on this world is something really special. And not few gaming IPs have ever allowed you to do this, right? So now you get the chance to do it. And the fun part is if you're jumping on to the app or the web browser, of course, you can put in your vote or you can jump on over. You have your daily login bonus underneath the goals, which make sure to claim that because that's going to give you some free points right there. You can jump in and go to the arcane library and start to play some of the mini games available for you. And I'll tell you what, I'm already working my way in that library. I'm finding some notes, finding some clues, seeing what's going on in the world right now, Tim.
I'm sure you are, Mike. Mike. J67 in the chat is saying run is always option number one. When that doesn't work, you got to panic. You know, that's when the fear sets in. When running doesn't work, you're like, what am I going to do? You know, we've seen so many horror movies. We played so many horror games. But this is different, right? This is everybody working together, voting to decide the canon of Silent Hill.
And I'm happy that you and I are at the forefront. There's no Greg. There's no Silent Hill Ascension team. So we get to kind of sway the vote for the next 9 minutes before we go live. And I will say that 16%, up 1% to 17.
We're at 17,
hey, everybody. Damnation on the move right now. Let's get it up. Redemption now at 49%. So we took a little small piece away from them. But make sure to cast your vote right now. Don't forget that you can register for free. Create that account. Make your character. And, of course, participate in the first crucial decision in Silent Hill Ascension right now. You can get it on the Google Store. You can get it on the App Store. And, of course, on Ascension.com if you want to participate. But the live chat is going off. We're having some fun just moments away from all of this kicking off live. And, of course, if you're watching live on the app or over on the web, say hello to me. It's nice seeing everybody here. The chat is blowing up.
It's great.
Over on this. I'll tell you what, they're putting in their stickers. They're getting wild. They're getting excited. And it's great to see all of them.
Yeah, so much is going on right now. Of course, it is Halloween, the perfect time, the spooky season, right? And, you know, for some people, that never leaves. But for others, right now is the time to strike. So we are 7 minutes away from the premiere of Silent Hill Ascension. Everybody, again, let me tell you, you have 7 minutes to get prepared, get ready for this. You can go to the App Store if you're on iOS. You can go to Google Play if you are on an Android device. You can also go to Ascension.com. That is ASCENSION.com. You can get registered. You can get ready because, 7 minutes away from the series premiere.
Yeah, don't miss out on this one. Get excited and get ready for it. And, of course, have fun with your fellow friends. This is a great time to grab a family member, a friend, come and have them register for free, or just get on the couch and get excited for what could be, right? The dev team doesn't even know where we're going to take this story. We all, as a collective, get to dictate where the story's going to go. And I think that's the fun part here is at any moment, the chat could side on the other side and just run away with it.
And that's what's cool is like there is the one canon to this. You know, I feel like that's what makes this kind of like a unique experience, something fresh, like at least that I haven't heard of before, where everybody's contributing to what is going to now be the lore, the story of this Silent Hill experience, and everyone's in it together. There is the one, right? It's not like, oh, in my experience, this happened, that happened. It's like, no, in our experience, we're deciding what is going on.
I want to give a big shout out to Morgan in the live chat right now. Of course, Morgan, I see you with your nice posted message over there saying hello to us, which is always exciting. But I'll tell you what, Tim, here's the cool part about all of this is I got my daily rewards. It's gone into making me look better with my red beard. And I can't wait to see everyone else's character because, like I said, they already got your bomber jacket. You're in. I want to see what Greg Miller creates. I want to see what our chat in the YouTube and the Twitch live stream, who they create, what they look like, and what kind of fun we can have on possibly seeing someone we know in the story.
I mean, everyone in the chat right now is getting ready. We have Ithalani saying, I'm getting my snacks ready here. Ex Miso Bunny saying, my body is ready. Whoa. And Ithalani coming back saying, ready to finish the ritual. Like, that's the thing. People are pushing for this, Mike. Yes. Finishing the ritual.
They want to finish it, and I don't know if me and the the Damnation team will win. We're at 17% again, so we're losing a little bit. Suffering is currently up to 34%, but I think the Redemption team at 49% is running away with this one, but we still got time to see where this goes. And like you said, we're all gathering around the couch. We're on the couch. We're in our computer chairs ready to go because it's a perfect night. It's spooky season. It's Halloween. Why not have some fun Silent Hill stuff?
And see, that's what I love so much about this, Mike, is Grim Reaver 999 in the chat saying, Tim and Mike matching amazing, entertaining energy. Thank you so much for that. That's what we're going to need for this, all right?
Yes.
In 5 minutes, we're going to need a matched energy between us. We're going to need to look at these options and really make the right calls to try to see, can we survive? Can we prove the devs wrong?
Yes.
Can everybody live through this? We'll have to wait and find out. Again, just 5 minutes away from this coming out. Again, you can get it on the App Store. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it at Ascension.com. Go right now. Get registered. I'm going to keep saying it because we're running out of time for you to be prepared for that series premiere in just 4 minutes.
4 minutes. And while we're here, this is a great moment. If you're watching live on Twitch or on YouTube or you're watching through the app, Yo, let us know, where is your vote going? We've seen the percentages, but I want to put some names to these votes. I want to know where the chat is going. And most importantly, I want to see where Brazil's going.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to my people out in Brazil. I want to know where we're going as a unit down there. What's the vibe?
Well, that's what I thought was interesting. In one of the interviews there, they were talking about how big a horror scene is down in Brazil. And, you know, I do think that it's super awesome now that experiences like this can, you know, for Silent Hill, something that has been tied to consoles for so long, it's cool that now, like, you have a phone, you'll be able to experience Silent Hill in a whole new way with Silent Hill Ascension.
Really exciting stuff, Tim. And I'm seeing it right now. I've seen a couple yell run. I've seen a couple people with redemption. Not seeing enough damnation folks out there. And it's kind of hurting me. I thought we would really gather together. Maybe the underdog could vote for it. But that's the exciting stuff, is sometimes you're not going to be the one to cast the winning vote. Sometimes you're going to be on the wrong side. And guess what? Now the story's out of your hand. It's going down a new route, and you're just going to have to live with it.
Just along for the ride. Big Bad Beluga saying all caps, 3 more minutes. That is right. We are 3 minutes away from this premiere. Thank you all for hanging out with us. This has been so much fun for this little pre-show to the series premiere of Silent Hill Ascension. Right, Mike?
Really special stuff. Something I'll never forget, and really fun that we get to help usher in this brand new moment, and everyone collectively watching and listening all gets to be part of it. And I think that's the coolest part, is each and every one of us are going to play a part in this new story. We're going to be able to see it. Of course, the devs said we'll see the other branching paths later on as well. So if we all come together and say, man, we really messed that one up, we'll get to at least see what else could have happened.
And I love that. You know, you say new people here. What I love about that is we have people that have been with us for a while, like Subliminal Reaper, who is clearly a Twitch sub to us, saying finish. They're voting for finish here. Yes. But we have Tiny Fish, a first-time chatter.
Wow.
Saying they're going to finish the oath.
Finish the oath, Tim. Well, we have 2 minutes left right now. Tim, you're going to tell them how to register and sign up, but I'm going to give them the final stats before we go into this.
Okay.
From what I'm seeing, 17% for damnation, plead for mercy.
Okay.
34% on the side of suffering, run. And then, of course, leading the charge, 49% on the side of redemption. Finish the oath right now. That's what the chat is saying. That's what the people want.
It sounds like we might finish the oath, Mike.
I think,
you know, with just
we're gonna.
With these 2 minutes left, remember, 2 minutes left until the premiere of Silent Hill Ascension. You can go to the App Store. You can go to Google Play. You can go to Ascension.com, and you can contribute just like everybody else hanging out, watching this, so we can have this shared Silent Hill experience. It's exciting stuff, Mike. This is history. I mean, you are a moment away from Silent Hill canon being changed forever.
It's not minutes, it's seconds now, Tim.
It is.
It is time for us to have some fun. And of course, we want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and hanging out with us during the pre-show. It's not over yet. It's only just beginning right here, right now. So if you're watching, I hope you have a great time. Happy Halloween. Thank you to the GenVid team for teaming up with us. And of course, thank you to Tim and everyone here at the Spare Bedroom for making something special. We are so excited for more Silent Hill, and you're going to get it right now.
Shout out to all of you for watching. Shout out to Kevin for running this, Greg for killing the interviews, the entire dev team. Let's have some fun. It's Silent Hill Ascension time, everybody. Get hyped, right, Mike?
Oh, get really hyped. Get spooked, get scared, and we'll see you in the mist, the fog. We'll see you.
It's so scary.
I can't wait, Tim.
The final seconds, the final tens of seconds, Mike.
This is wild,
As we sit here waiting for this to happen, I'm scared. Are people going to run? Will damnation occur?
That's all I want, Tim. Come on now. Your voting is about to end. Make sure you cast those votes. We'll see y'all later.